Steve Cardenas, a.k.a. Rocky the Red Power Ranger, and you are watching SmarkTank Revolution.
And welcome back to the SmarkTank Revolution, where we always kick out at 2. I am your host, the benevolent, intelligent, excellent, and eloquent Mr. Donnie Wonderful, a.k.a. Big Time Donnie. And I am literally riding solo as I'm making my very often and very occasional pilgrimage from New York City to Boston. I do this trip back and forth a lot, spend time equally in 2 cities growing up. So I'm more of a Bostonian, you know, Red Sox, Celtics, Patriots, in no particular order. But I do also have strong ties to being a New Yorker as well. And on this drive, I have, first of all, that wind that you're hearing, hey, listen, it's 86 degrees. I don't want to freeze because my AC works immaculately perfect. And I'm telling you, like, this car can be Arctic. I mean, it'll drop my body temperature below 0. I'm not trying to freeze to death. So I have the window slightly cracked and the sunroof's slightly cracked. So excuse the background wind noise. But I'm here to offer another tangential tirade here. And I want to ask our faithful and wonderful and beautiful listeners, that's you and supporters, I want to ask your opinion on my dilemma, or yet my opinion, if you will, my humble opinion, if you will. I want to get y'all opinion on my opinion. So, in regards to wrestling, in the sports entertainment era, WWE versus AEW, okay, so WWE's product is heavily produced, and some of the production is very, very, very good. The backstage segments with the Bloodline have all been fantastic. But as you all know, they have to ignore the fourth wall. They're interacting with each other as if there isn't a camera in the room present with them. All right? So you have that element of production on the WWE side, whereas AEW gets straight to the wrestling. So here's my opinion and dilemma. I think due to the Attitude Era, if you are a fan of the Attitude Era, if you're a fan of the WWE from the Attitude Era, oh, and I have something, don't even get me started on this, on the Attitude Era. But I realize that I have been conditioned from the Attitude Era to watch Raw, the opening segments, to kind of get a gist of what direction the show's going in. So I come home, because I'm a part owner of the boxing gym, One Punch Boxing Club. Shout out to the gladiators that train there. But I'll get home around 10 p.m. on weekdays. So I'll catch the last hour of Raw, or the last hour of Raw. I get home roughly like about 9:30 on Mondays, 10 o'clock, whatever. But I DVR Raw and I DVR Dynamite. And I realized that there were 2 different habits in how I watch them back. So, of course, the top of the hour segment, I'm always looking forward to, especially after a pay-per-view, because someone's going to come out, someone's going to cut a promo, someone's going to interrupt that promo, and you're going to have your new feud or your new story being birthed right there, or it's going to be a continuation of one that we already know. We expect that. And then, you know, the top of the hour for the 9 o'clock spot, and I think they don't do it as much at 10 o'clock. But as I'm rewatching Raw, I spend about 20 minutes. Hold on, I want to make sure I'm still on here. Oh, perfect. Okay, I spend about 20 minutes into the first opening segment, and then typically like the first match happens around the half hour mark. So we're like 35 minutes into the show, maybe, and that's probably a stretch. maybe sooner, maybe a lot sooner. But the first match typically doesn't start until about the 20-minute mark. That's pretty safe to say. So I've watched the opening segment, and I've likely fast-forwarded the match until the next produced segment. Because for some reason, the matches don't mean as much on Raw. I think the classic Raw moments, the classic matches and the good matches that we're talking about throughout the week typically are reserved for the premium shows, and this is just my opinion. Of course, they'll get more time at a premium show, but I don't find myself engulfed in the matches on Raw unless I'm there live. And I've started to upload a lot of some footage that I recorded from the cell phones from multiple live shows that I've been on, that Joey and I have gone to together, rather, on our YouTube page in the shorts. So take a look at those. But what I'm saying is, I DVR most of the matches. Most of the matches I DVR, and if it's a night where I happen to return home at 11 on the dot, the only match I'll likely watch is the main event in its full entirety. Everything else gets the play and fast forward feature. Play and fast forward. Play or accelerate it 2 times. Watch it 2 times the speed. Then all right, just kind of pick it up to 4 times the speed. Unless it's someone like Carmella. I like when Carmella wrestles on Raw because I think that's when Corey Graves is in rare form and he's just hilarious. Everything he says is just funny. So I'll watch her or whatever segment that she's in specifically for his response. An example, Seth Rollins, right? Seth Rollins I've seen for years. I'm a huge fan of Seth Rollins, but the last time I DVR'd Raw, I fast forwarded his match because I thought, it's another Seth Rollins, but he just had a damn good one with Omos at Backlash. So we're not going to see that same type of storytelling on Raw. And here's where I'm going to defend the new generation era and kind of slam the Attitude Era. The Attitude Era gave us more shock value stuff, which was great, because it was cutting edge. But where are the classic matches on Raw during the Attitude Era? The classic ones that we rewatch over and over and over and over. There are a few of them, not saying that there aren't any, but there are more classic promos in that era. Tyson, Stone Cold and Vince, they tore the house down during the Attitude Era. Triple H's long-winded promos were great during the Attitude Era. There's tons of those I can pull. Don't even get me started on The Rock. Come on, take a pick. But I'm talking about the classic matches. The new generation era gave us great Raw matches, phenomenal Raw matches. Bret Hart wrestled the 1-2-3 Kid for the WWF title. That was a classic. Bret Hart, and there's more than just Bret, because HBK did phenomenal on Raw, regardless who they worked with. Undertaker has some superb matches on Raw. The new generation really focused on the wrestling. And yes, the gimmicks were gimmicky, but nevertheless, the wrestling was great. Razor Ramon versus The Model, 1993, for the vacant Intercontinental Championship was a Dave Meltzer 5-star classic, in my opinion. And I can go into detail why. I think that match there covered everything, and we got it for free. I'm not saying that a lot about the Attitude Era or the Ruthless Aggression Era. Actually, John Cena and Shawn Michaels on Raw when John Cena, I think he put Shawn over. That was actually really good. That was phenomenal. That was great. And there are a few like they're kind of like almost there. All right, let's put a tack in that. I'm gonna get back to it. When I DVR AEW, I'm typically fast forwarding the commercials because I hate watching stuff in picture-in-picture. I never pay attention to it in picture-in-picture. But I'll watch most of the card. And, you know, I'll go back and watch the backstage segments. I think AEW, their produced segments, obviously, they don't have the production quality as WWE. However, they have more of a real sports feel because they present it in a more classic, traditional sports way. So they'll have Renee Young there. Renee Young. What, you know, y'all know what I'm talking about. John Moxley's wife. I'm sorry. The name escapes me at the moment. But, you know, they present them, and they actually are, despite whatever Michael Cole has said, you know, they're journalists. And we'll give them that credit because they are covering a sport, a professional sport, and not everybody can just walk in and be a sports entertainer or a professional wrestler. So these are professional broadcast journalists. But they'll do it in that traditional way. You know? Like they'll interview the wrestler in the locker room. And they do have their backstage segments again. It's just not as classy, or classy is a bad word. They're just not as production polished as the WWE because WWE has been doing it longer. They're going on, this decade would be the 30th year they've executed this to damn near finesse and perfection. So we can't expect that, but I do like how, again, they cover it in a more serious sports journalistic fashion. All right? And then they get straight to the wrestling. My issue with the AEW stuff is, with the AEW style of wrestling, is that contrary to what I said with the WWE, how their superb matches are only really reserved for the premium events, AEW, they have no prejudice or biases to any events. What you see on Dynamite can clearly make any Double or Nothing, Revolution, Full Gear, All In, All Out. All right? And I give them credit for that. Their problem, in my opinion, is that they don't save enough for the people that follow them. Here's an example. Here's a made-up example. If you have the Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers on the same card, they better be wrestling each other. Because if they don't, let me add, remember Jurassic Express? If those three groups, tag teams, wherever you want to call them, if they're booked on the same show, it had better be a triple threat tag match or whatever the case may be. Because there's going to be cutters, destroyers, there are going to be 1,000 dives, and about 1,000,000 super kicks. And if they're not booked together, they have to follow that. The problem with following that is that if I seen Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus do 7 cutters against the Butcher and the Blade, by the time I see the Lucha Brothers go against Ortiz and Santana, or whoever the case may be, like, I've gotten that already. It takes the luster out of it. We're not talking about it the next day because 7 groups then did the same thing. And then the Young Bucks, everybody can do the flips. Everybody can do these moves. But by the time you get to the Young Bucks versus the Hardy Boys, we're already about 80 centons in already. We're 900 backflips and twirly flips in already. So it takes away from when somebody does it the first time. I had an example in my head. I just forgot it. Damn it. Damn. But I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. So with that being said, AEW will give you that type of content for free. But after you see it so much, you become desensitized to it. Joey, my esteemed colleague, would tell you, the very first time I saw the Young Bucks live in person was the second airing of AEW's Dynamite, October 9th, 2019. We were there in person. The Young Bucks versus Private Party tore the house down. Everybody was on their feet. Everyone. That style was amazing. It was the second episode. So now, by the time you get to the 100th episode, they can do that same match, and we're desensitized to it. And I'm saying, like, how? How does that happen? How does that happen? Kenny Omega, right? We watched, and I think it was AEW Dark, because they filmed it after Dynamite that day. Kenny Omega versus Joey Janela, all right? That was a really good match. That was a great match. Kind of the same style. Again, this was only the second show of AEW Dynamite. But kind of the same style. Like, that match could have been on Dynamite, All In, All Out. It was very, very, very entertaining. You know, like high spots, a lot of, it's fast paced. But then I noticed, and I've always given Kenny Omega his credit. But when those guys wrestle, like when the Young Bucks wrestle FTR, it's a different pace. You still get the flip moves, but it's different. When Kenny Omega wrestles Bryan Danielson, it's different. And I said, oh, okay. Not that he has, but when those guys wrestle like a CM Punk and the old WWE guys are kind of laying this out, that come from a different era, I think it elevates the Young Bucks. It elevates Kenny Omega. And the matches are different because now they're kind of produced more to make sense. It's not just, wow, what a maneuver, as Vince McMahon used to say. You know, things make sense. They're selling more things. You know, they're selling an injury. MJF is great at it. He does this already. And I was able to pick that up within the first month or two of seeing him. And I think that's what also gets attributed to why he's such a great wrestler. But when you pair those guys together, their matches make more sense. And if we happen to get it on Dynamite, of course, I'm going to watch it. I'm not going to fast forward that. But, you know, they each have, WWE and AEW, they both have their highs and lows and their ups and downs. And I just wanted to share my opinion on how and why I thought they were so different. I can't remember. I had a specific example of something, and it escapes me. But since while I'm here, hell, let's just pull out some more stuff. Going back to the WWE/WWF side, the New Generation era. And I know they wrestled at it In Your House, but Bret Hart versus Hakushi was amazing at In Your House and on Raw. That was a great match. Let me think. Who else was there? There's a few. Oh man, Owen Hart versus the 1-2-3 Kid. Their second match after the King of the Ring was great. Owen Hart versus Shawn Michaels. Remember when HBK fainted in the ring? You guys remember that? You remember those moments? That was all New Generation stuff. But the wrestling was more prominent than the. I mean, that was, of course, had its drama in it. But I'm just saying, like Razor Ramon had so many good matches on Raw. So many good matches. Jeff Jarrett had a lot of great matches, man. I mean, the next video I'm gonna do is why the New Generation, even though they had terrible gimmicks, why it may have been equal to or greater than the Attitude Era. Call me a liar, and I know you guys have all types of ammunition to fire at me. But I'm gonna make a case. I'm gonna make an argument, damn it. I'm gonna become a lawyer. I'm not gonna be Donnie Wonderful on that one. I'm gonna be Donnie Cochran. If it doesn't fit, you must have quit. But yeah, anyway, just the two varying styles of televisions between the WWE and how we watch them. And I wanted to ask our faithful, what are you guys' opinions on it? Do you agree with me? You disagree with me? If you agree with me, let me know why. Let us know why in the comments. If you disagree with me, cook my black ass in these comments. I can take it. Come on. Do it all. Anyway, traffic's starting to pick up. Traffic's starting to let up. So I'm about to do the speed limit, maybe 10 or 15 miles over it. Shh, y'all don't tell nobody. But this is Donnie Wonderful signing off on my way back to the Bean Town. You guys take care. Thank you.